Hey guys, we are here, the last day of reading the 4 agreements. I'm so excited. I'm outside in my car because my family's home and they are awfully loud. But I came outside and my neighbor decides that he just wants to blow dust off the concrete. I started this before and he just kept turning that thing on, just and honestly, when you look over there's nothing that he's blowing. So I'm not sure if he just thought it was cute because you can see him in my car, but that's me making an assumption and me taking it personal. And that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Because what are the 4 agreements? 1, be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally. I'm not going to take it personal because he don't know me like that. 3, don't make any assumptions. So I'm not going to assume that as soon as he saw me get in my car with a book that he knew what I was doing, because he doesn't know what I'm doing. And 4, I'm going to do my best at everything. I promised to myself that I was not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to do this for a full year before I decide nobody want to hear me read no book. And then I'm getting more out of it too. And I'm grateful for the people who do respond. I love that you take the time out of your busy day to make a comment. It makes my heart really, really happy. So let's get into this last day of the 4 agreements. We are at chapter 7, A New Dream, Heaven on Earth. I want you to forget everything you have learned in your whole life. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. The dream you are living is your creation. It is your perception of reality that you can change at any time. You have the power to create hell, and you have the power to create heaven. Why not dream a different dream? Why not use your mind, your imagination, and your emotions to dream heaven? Just use your imagination and tremendous things will happen. Imagine that you have the ability to see the world with different eyes whenever you choose. Each time you open your eyes, you see the world around you in a different way. Close your eyes now. Go ahead, close them. Close them. Now open them up and look around you. Look outside. What you will see is love coming out of the trees, coming out of the sky, love coming out of the light. You will perceive love from everything around you. This is the state of bliss. I often live in the state of bliss. And sometimes people say, what's wrong with that girl? But bliss feels so much better than sadness. And I know that it's difficult to go through difficult situations and always be happy, but you can find the happy. There should be no day, unless there's a tragedy, that you spend 24 hours just pissed, mad, not having a good time. You need to work on your personality, unless there's a tragedy. I'm in no way telling you how to handle a tragedy. I'm not qualified to do it. I wouldn't tell you how to do it. I'm just telling you, if you really want to have happy, just decide to be happy. Happy is an inside job. Nobody's going to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy, and then you'll find things to be happy about. You perceive love directly from everything, including yourself and other humans. Even when humans are sad or angry, behind those feelings, you can see that they're also sending love. Using your imagination and your new eyes of perception, I want you to see yourself living a new life, a new dream, a life where you do not need to justify your existence and you are free to be who you really are. Whenever you encounter a person and they're not happy or they are always saying something negative, that's the person you need to send the most love to, because that's the person that's really caught inside of a web inside of their heart that's just full of darkness and sadness and muck and mar, and you can help them through it by sending them love. You can't do it for them, but your love can penetrate their darkness. That doesn't mean you stay in their space and you trying to, hocus pocus, abracadabra them into a good space, but you love them enough and you send that love. And sometimes you have to send that love from across the street, because in their face, they don't know how to act. And you should never be a doormat. Never are you a doormat. Never should you let people's poor behavior become a part of your life and you just accept it. You do not have to do that. When you do that, you have become a victim, and then you are not creating heaven, you're creating hell. And hell is not a good space, and you can get out of it any time though. Imagine that you have permission to be happy and to really enjoy your life. Your life is free of conflict with yourself and with others, and that's available. When somebody wants to argue with you, you don't have to argue back. You don't have to decide, I'm going to show them. They don't know who the fuck they dealing with, Let me show. No, you can just say they're arguing with their damn selves, because I'm not doing that. And you can walk away. You can decide you don't want to argue, and you can say to them, I'm not fitting to argue with you, and walk away. And they may start following behind you, and you may have to say, listen, stop following behind me. I'm not doing this with you. But then if they don't listen, just be quiet. Don't say nothing else. at all. Literally say nothing else. Start singing your favorite lullaby or favorite song in your head and don't even pay them no mind. Imagine living your life without fear of expressing your dreams. You know who does that? Will and Willow Smith. And we talk about them, and I say we, I mean the world talks about them, and oh my God, they're crazy. But I remember once when, Jaden. I said Will and Willow. Jaden and Willow. I remember once Jaden was going to the prom and he had on like a Comic-Con suit. And my friend had posted on her page, and I said, what the hell is wrong with that child? I said, where's his parents at? And she said, he's just a free child. That's what he wanted to wear. What's wrong with that? And I was like, she's right. And I changed my comment. I said, yep, I was judging. I was Judge Judy. I take that back. He wanted to go to the prom in a Comic-Con suit. And then she said to me, I said, he has every right to. And she says, the problem is we've never seen a free black child. We've never seen a child able to do whatever they want to do. And I hadn't seen that because I have 4 children and I wouldn't let them go outside without me being outside with them for fear of something happening to them. But I would see some of the children in the neighborhood, their parents will let them take their bikes and ride all the way down to the lake. Not me. I said, I'll drive y'all down to the lake. You're not riding no bike down to the lake, because I was afraid that one, some racist person could try to hurt my child, or some pervert could try to take my child, or they get hit by a car. I mean, I had all those fears. So I'm like, I will take you because then I am with you. And I will sit here while you are over there at the lake or at the pool or at the playground and make sure that anybody that think they're going to walk up on you, I'm about to catch charge. I was that mother. And it was because of the fears I have. Now, my fears are not just out of the blue. I'm a black woman, as you can see, if your eyes work. And so I live in America where blackness is beat upon and treated badly. I remember when I was in college, I just got into Howard University, and this guy, he was fine. He was fine. And I was interested in him, and so I'm smiling at him. He said, wow. He said, you're real pretty to be such a dark girl. And I said, wow. And you're real ignorant to be in college. And he said, wait, I just gave you a compliment. I said, that's not a compliment. It's not a compliment at all to act like being dark skinned is some type of, oh, you should be happy, you pretty. No, I'm pretty because I'm pretty. Fuck the complexion. I'm just a pretty girl. Fuck you. I didn't say that part. I'm saying that part to you. But I did say to him, I'm pretty because I'm pretty. Nothing to do with my skin complexion. He said, stop acting like, oh, dark-skinned women don't be ugly. Boy, bye. I was literally instantly no longer attracted to him. Like, if there was anything going on down here about him and I was interested in him, completely dried up. Not interested in him at all because he was ignorant. And my complexion was an issue to him. And he thought he was doing me a favor by gracing me with his compliment because I'm a dark-skinned girl. Oh, no. That part. So, anyway, back to... I'm supposed to be reading this book anyway. But so I grew up with some fears because of growing up in America and having melanin. However, don't cry for me, Argentina. If I could come back 1,000 times and they said, now you have to pick, what color are you going to come back? I would say a black woman, a black woman, a black woman. Now, what I would say is, can I be a black woman that can eat whatever she likes and be very healthy and very fit and like have like a really taut stomach? And, you know, like the thighs that I have, but like really firm and they don't have any cellulite on them, even when I'm 105. Can we pick that up? Can that be on the menu? But I definitely would come back a black woman. And that's not a slight to anybody who come back another one. You come back and be who you want to be. Don't worry about who I want to be. Why are you worried about who I want to be? Anyway. You know what you want and you know what you don't want. And when you want it, you are free to change in your life. You are free to change your life the way you really want to. You are not afraid to ask what you need or say yes or no to anything or anyone. That is heaven. I've not learned to do it fully, but I've gotten a lot better at it. And I used to be frustrated with people who could tell you no or tell people no. And I'm like, why are you saying no? Because they didn't want to do it. I think I was just jealous that they were able to do that. I think men in general, men do what the fuck they want to do. And as a woman, you can come along for the ride if you want to. You can be a ride or die and let him drag you down the street by your arms until your arms fall off. And you'll just find somebody else to hitch on that wagon. A lot of men, you know, not all, but men do what they want to do. And women do what they think they're supposed to do for the most part. We got to change that narrative. You are no longer responsible. Let me go back. Imagine living your life without the fear of being judged by others. You will no longer rule your behavior. You no longer rule your behavior according to what others may think about you. You are no longer responsible for anyone's opinions. You have no need to control anyone, and no one controls you either. Imagine living your life without judging others. You can easily forgive others and let go of any judgments that you have. Now, doesn't that just seem like, I ain't no punk? That's how I used to take it. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm forgiving you all the time. If you think I'm a fucking punk, no, you ain't punking me. And that's ego. Ego, edging God out. When I learn to release a lot of my ego, I don't live fully in this, but I'm a lot closer than I was. I can easily forgive others and let go of any judgments that I have. You don't have the need to be right. Now that, I don't need that anymore. I used to have to be right. And I would go research to see just how wrong I am so I can get right. I don't do that anymore. You don't need to make anyone wrong. And I don't need to do that anyway, because my need to be right was out of my insecurity about what I was saying or believing. You respect yourself and everyone else, and they respect you in return. You know how you know if you respect yourself or not? If you allow people to stay in your life that have no respect for you. If you are in a relationship and that person is doing all kind of things to you that are not kosher, then you don't respect yourself. They don't respect you, but you don't respect yourself. Because when you respect yourself, you're like, nah, dog, we ain't doing this. Not no more. Not today. You got the wrong one. You got the right one on the right day, because I'm about to shut this down. But when we don't respect ourselves, oftentimes in marriages, women are taught, that, look the other way when he's doing whatever he's doing. Boys will be boys. He's just a man, but at least he come home at night. No, you don't have to tolerate all of that. You can have a man that not only comes home at night, but during the day when he's there, he's respectful to you. You can have that. And you can have that by first learning to respect yourself. You do need to do a lot of forgiveness to get to that point. Forgiving the past, so that when you wrapped up all of that past stuff, you can move forward and you can have that person that respects you, that's loyal to you, that's kind to you, that understands that it's not about you being a prize. It's about the both of you being respectful and feeling sacred. Marriage is sacred, and not a lot of people feel that sacredness. It is sacred. It is something that is given by the Creator for two people to grow closer to God in whatever name you choose. And so when one of the parties decides to go out and share that with someone else, they break that bond. And over time, whether you want to admit it to yourself or not, over time, it muddies up the sacredness of your relationship, and eventually it ends. Whether it ends because you get a disease to get out of it because you're not strong enough, you're too much of a coward to say, fuck you, get out my life. Whether or not they, the coward that's doing it, get a disease and get out of your life because God don't keep playing. Well, I think we do it to ourselves. Either way, when you learn to respect yourself, when you learn to recognize how sacred you are, you don't allow a lot of stuff in your life. And you recognize that doesn't mean you're alone. That means you are with you. And so if you're the only person you know with integrity, you one up on everybody else. Think about it like that. Hey, I know one person with integrity. That's motherfucking me. And when you can look at life like that, life is a whole lot. Imagine living without the fear of loving and not being loved. You are no longer afraid to be rejected, and you don't have the need to be accepted. You can say, I love you, with no shame or justification. You can walk into the world with your heart completely open and not be afraid to be hurt. Imagine living your life without being afraid to take a risk and explore life. You're not afraid to lose anything. You're not afraid to be alive in the world, and you're not afraid to die. Imagine that you love yourself just the way you are. You love your body just the way it is. And you love your emotions just the way they are. You know that they are perfect just as you are. That doesn't mean things will stay the same. But when you start with the acceptance of who you are at the base, then you can grow. But if you are in denial, well, not in denial, if you are not loving yourself, you're heavy, you're like, I don't care, I don't like this. You're just staying right there. First of all, you got yourself there because you put the fork down. That's number one. And you don't exercise. Let's stop pretending like fat just fell out the sky and just attached to your body. That didn't happen. It went in your mouth and you chewed it up and you swallowed it down, and it went wherever it needed to go on your body according to your body type. But the bottom line is you did that to yourself. So love your body just as it is, and then make the changes. That's real important that you start to do that. Accept it. If you are a person who cries all the time, love your crying all the time self. Because once you start to love your crying all the time self, then you can start to say, why the fuck am I crying all the time? What is wrong with me? And then you can start to do something about it. But if you don't first fall in love with the you that is right now, you can never grow into the person you want to be, because you're denying who you are. So that denial thing, that's like not taking accountability. And people who don't take accountability usually don't grow much, because they won't first say, you're right, I did this, I did that. Like I talk about this a lot. I have to, and I'm getting better, and that's why the weight is falling off. I ate myself to 50, almost 50 pounds heavier than I want to be. I did that, 40 something pounds. So now I say 50 because now I'm 7 pounds down. So I put those 43 pounds on me. Ain't nobody, it did not fall out the sky. It did not fall out the sky. It didn't come up from hell. It came from my eating habits. And it came from me not accepting that I knew it was time for me to make some changes in my life in every direction. And I didn't want to do it. So I just said, let me see some pie. Let me eat some cookies. Let me eat some cake. I'll think about that later, because that dopamine that the food gives you just sitting on your brain, and then you don't make the changes you need to change. Now I love all of me. I love the fupa. I love the big back girl. I love every part of Tracy, because I know that in loving her, she's taking care of her. And you need to do the same thing. Imagine living your life. Imagine living your life without being afraid to take risk and explore life. You are not afraid to lose anything. You're not afraid to be alive in the world, and you're not afraid to die. Imagine that you love yourself just the way you are. You love your body just the way it is, and you love your emotions just the way they are. You know that you are perfect just as you are. The reason I ask you to imagine these things is because they are entirely possible. You can live in the state of grace, the state of bliss, the dream of heaven. But in order to experience this dream, you must first understand what it is. Only love has the ability to put you in the state of bliss. Being in bliss is like being in love. Being in love is like being in bliss. You float in the clouds. You are perceiving love wherever you go. It is entirely possible to live this way all the time. It is possible because others have done it, and they are no different from you. They live in bliss because they have changed their agreements and are dreaming a different dream. Once you feel what it means to live in a state of bliss, you will love it. You will know that the heaven on earth is truth, that heaven truly exists. Once you know that heaven exists, once you know it's possible to stay there, it's up to you to make the effort to do it. 2,000 years ago, Jesus told us about the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of love, but hardly anyone was ready to hear this. They said, what are you talking about? They said, what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Jesus? My heart is empty. I don't feel the love that you are talking about. I don't feel the peace that you have. You don't have to do this. Just imagine his message of love possible, and you will find that it is yours. The world is very beautiful and very wonderful. Life can be very easy when love is your way of life. You can be loving all the time. This is your choice. You may not have a reason to love, but you can love because love makes you so happy. Love in action only produces happiness. Love will give you inner peace. It will change your perception of everything. You can see everything with the eyes of love. You can be aware that there is love all around you. When you live this way, there is no longer a fog in your mind. The mitote has gone on a permanent vacation. This is what humans have been seeking for centuries. For thousands of years, we have been searching for happiness. Happiness is the lost paradise. Humans have worked so hard to reach this point and this part of the evolution of the mind. This is the future of humanity. This way of life is possible, and it is in your hands. Moses called it the promised land. Buddha called it nirvana. Jesus called it heaven. And the Toltecs call it a new dream. Unfortunately, your identity is mixed with the dream of the planet. All of your beliefs and agreements are there in the fog, and Muslims call it heaven as well. You feel the presence of the parasite and believe it is yours. This makes it difficult to let go, to release the parasite and create the space to experience love. You are attached to the judge, attached to the victim. Suffering makes you feel safe because you know it so well. Oh, that woe is me. Look at what he did to me. You ever talk to a person, they just tell that same old story over and over and over and over again? Like you just want to bop them upside the head and say, it's a broken record. Get that needle going a different way. But there is really no reason to suffer. The only reason you suffer is because you choose to suffer. Let me say that again for the people in the back. The only reason you or I suffer is because you and I choose to suffer. No, I didn't choose it because such and such did. No, you choose to suffer. because such and such could do whatever such and such want to do, but you don't have to choose to be a part of it or to suffer, especially if you're an adult. We're not talking to the babies that can't help themselves and they have terrible parents that may be harming them. I'm not qualified to talk to them, and I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you at your big age and the things you let go on in your life. You are choosing to suffer. You are choosing to suffer, period. If you look at your life, you will find many excuses to suffer, but a good reason to suffer you will not find. So reason is different from excuse. A person can say, the reason why I don't get comfortable around men quickly is because I was molested by my uncles and my father when I was young. But an excuse would say, well, the reason why I smack people upside the head and cuss everybody out was because when I was young, my daddy and my uncle molested me. No, one is the reason. One is an excuse. The reason why you feel uncomfortable around men is because of what you did. But your actions are your choice. And that's an excuse because you want to behave poorly. The same is true for happiness. The only reason you are happy is because you choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice, and so is suffering. And I know that because when I stopped the woe is me, when I canceled the DJ, when I took back my deposit on the place and told the caterer, I don't need you no more, no pity party for me, man, life just leveled up, and up. And I'm telling you, all you got to do is just decide, I don't want to suffer no more. I don't want to do this no more. I'm going to do something else. Happiness is a choice, and so is suffering. Maybe we cannot escape from the destiny of human, but we have a choice to suffer our destiny or to enjoy our destiny, to suffer or to love, and to be happy, to live in hell or to live in heaven. My choice is to live in heaven. What is yours? You want to live in heaven too. I know you do. You want to come to the upper room with me. You want to be up there in that VIP section, living it up like Neo in that Champagne Life. Go listen to that song, Champagne Life. You want that champagne life? Come on, let's have that. Now, we're going to go to prayers. So this is what I'm really asking you to do. Take a moment to close your eyes and open your heart. And I want you to feel the love that comes from your heart. I want you to join with my words in your mind and in your heart to feel a very strong connection of love. Together, we're going to do a very special prayer to experience a communion with our Creator. Focus your attention on your lungs, as if only your lungs exist. Feel the pleasure when your lungs expand to fulfill. The biggest need of the body is to breathe. Just breathe. So I want you to take a long and slow deep breath in, inhaling from the bottom of your belly all the way up to the top of your throat like this. And then I want you to hold it for a second, and then I want you to open your mouth and feel that going back down. Let's do that again. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Open your mouth. Now this time when you do it, I want you to feel that when you're breathing in, that you're breathing in love and joy and peace and compassion and all of the wonderful things you want to experience. Let's do it together. Inhale. Bring in all that love. And then when you open your mouth, I want you to see, sense, or feel all the energy that doesn't serve you going out. We're going to assign it a color. So we're going to inhale slowly, bringing in a nice, beautiful, beautiful pink aura into our bodies. Pink and light brown, not light brown, pink and cream and white and violet. Bring it in. And then when you open your mouth, and I want you to feel all of the energy that doesn't serve you coming out. So now it's like murky. It's like dark brown and gray. And when it comes out, no worries. It's in the air, and the air takes it back to the nothingness in which it came. So you can do that one more time. Hold that light energy and swirl it all around. The brightness, the lightness, all of the things that you know you are by your divine birthright. Open your mouth and let go of those things that don't serve you. And now I'm going to say this prayer. Today, Creator of the universe, we ask that you come to us and share with us a strong communion of love. We know that your real name is love, that to have communion with you means to share the same vibration, the same frequency that you are, because you are the only thing that exists in the universe. Today, help us to be like you are, to love life, to be loved. Help us to love the way you love, with no conditions, no expectations, no obligations, without any judgment. Help us to love and accept ourselves without any judgment, because when we judge ourselves, we find ourselves guilty and we need to be punished. Help us to love everything you create unconditionally, especially other human beings, especially those who live around us, all of our relatives and people whom we try so hard to love. Because when we reject them, we reject ourselves. And we reject ourselves, we reject you. Help us to love others just the way they are with no conditions. Help us to accept them just the way they are without judgment. Because if we judge them, we find them guilty, we blame them, and we have the need to punish them. Today, clean our hearts of any emotional poison that we have. Free our minds of any judgment so that we can live in complete peace and complete love. Today is a very special day. Today we open our hearts again so that we can tell each other, I love you, without any fear, and really mean it. Today we offer ourselves to you. Come to us. Use our voices, use our eyes, use our hands, and use our hearts to share ourselves in a communion of love with everyone. Today, Creator, help us to be just like you are. Thank you for everything that we received this day, and especially for the freedom to be who we really are. Amen. There are lots of prayers in here. So what I've decided is that tomorrow we will do a meditation session where I will guide you through meditation in these prayers, because that's one of the things I do. I thank you so very much for your time. I would love it if you would like this video, if you would share this video, and if you would subscribe to my channel. I love you so very much. I really do. I love you because I know I create my reality, and I really need to love you because it helps me love me. Have a good one.